Hello guys, I'm doing a face video. Hello. If I'm looking at you and I'm not looking at you, just because I'm on my iPhone, so I'm recording and I have to remind myself which way I'm recording. Anyways, I wanted to do a little quick talk about one of my favorite plants that I had for about a year and a half, 2 years. So in case you're wondering, I got into plants about 3 years ago during Rona and everything, being home all the time. I was kind of going crazy and I needed something to keep myself occupied. And I've always had an interest in plants. We have plants in our outside backyard. We have fruiting trees, and I wanted to start doing indoor plants. And I thought, why not? I have the time. I'm home and going stir crazy being home all the time. I figured, let's do something else. Let's do something new. So I just started to get plants, and I started off with a snake plant. I've read they were the easiest ones to care for, so why not? Let's do it. And I had a friend who had plants that were being taken away from her property, and she said, "Do you want these? They're easy to care for. Just leave them alone, neglect them, and they'll be fine." And I'm like, "Sure, sure, sure. We'll see what happens." And then that's kind of where it started. It was a Zeyvanica snake plant. They're very tall and narrow, and I'll talk about those at a different time. But the one I want to talk about now is actually one of my favorites, my OGs. This is a Fishbone Calathea. So she is a gorgeous, she's huge. I've had her maybe 2.5 years, 2 years. I've lost track of time. But she was maybe a quarter of this size when I got her. I did repot her into a 6-inch pot because she needed it, and she's actually been one of the easiest plants to care for. She is a prayer plant, so her leaves go up in the evening and they open up during the day to get light. And she has this texture on the leaves. It's kind of waxy. If I come closer, you can see it right here. There's like a texture to the leaves, kind of a waxiness to it, which is beautiful. I fell in love with the pattern of the leaves. Something I really, really was looking for was pattern, and this did it for me. And as they grow, they throw off these cigar tubes that are leaves. Where is it? Here it is, right here. So as they unfurl, the leaf opens up, and she's got like this reddish undertone to her leaves. You can kind of see it. And care for this, I've actually found it very easy to care for her. So I have different lights here in my room. I have bright flood lamps in the front. I've got this tall pole here that is it's like a lamp pole that washes this wall. And then this pole right here has 3 bright spotlights that wash. Then I have this plant shelf on this side here for growing plants. So my room is relatively bright throughout the day. They're on an automation schedule. So my lights go about 7 a.m. to about 5 for the plant shelf, and then they'll slowly dim to a darker tone to simulate sunrise and sunset. So it's really helpful. For her, I've kind of moved her around the room, and she kind of doesn't really care. I think the lighting is bright enough for her. But what I do is I let her dry out to maybe a little more than half. So I'll just stick my finger in the soil, and when she feels maybe about 50% dry, and below that it's just feeling a little humid, I'll give her a good drink. I'll bottom water primarily, or you can top water if you want. It's your choice, your preference. I do use treated water, so I treat all my water with a water conditioner called API Stress. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's a great conditioner. I'll put a link below if you guys are interested in that. It is an associate link, just to let you guys know. I love using that because a little goes a long way. It treats the water for any impurities that a lot of sensitive tropical plants do not like and can cause like browning, crisping edges that can damage the leaf over time. So definitely something to use there. And I do fertilize with every watering, but it's a light fertilizer. And then I'll also link that below if you guys are interested in what I'm doing. There was the Provived, and then there's a new one that I started using that I do like. So definitely there's options available for you. And humidity, I have a humidifier. My space goes about 40 to 60% humidity throughout the day. It doesn't have to be high all the time. As long as you have a nice consistent range, it's been very helpful for my plants. Definitely this one has loved the shifting of the humidity across the room, so it's not really that big of an issue. Now, if you do have a concern about pests, I would just check the underside of the leaves. It's always a great indicator to tell you if there's something wrong with them. So if you can see here, if you ever have a concern with like spider mites or anything of that sort, usually you'll see like little tiny white dots below the leaves or anything of that sort. That can be a sign of pests. I haven't had an issue with this one. I do keep her isolated because she's so wide. I keep her on this plant stand here with a collection tray at the bottom, and she hasn't had issues. But definitely a beautiful plant to add to a collection if you want something that's easy to care for, has a beautiful pattern, and kind of just is one of those let them do their thing. Don't really worry about it. Hope you guys like this one. It's my first face video. I want to be showcasing my plants. Hopefully you guys enjoy them, and I'll see you guys in the next one.